So last week I was interviewed for an upcoming publication. And one of the questions I was asked was, what do you think is really important right now that is not getting the attention that it deserves? And my mind went immediately to the courts. And I hope that this part of the interview makes it into the article that should be published later this week. I'll make sure to share it with you when it is. Because while impeachment continues to get attention, which it should, as Trump's foibles overseas with our allies continue to be discussed, which they should, the courts are increasingly under the oversight of Trump appointed judges, and they are going to ruin this country for decades to come. Now, Donald Trump, in conjunction with the truly sickening, disgusting, hyper partisan clown, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, have been working together to confirm what they have a goal of being 182 judges by the end of this year. Federal judges who are really important to our judicial system. And this gets very little attention. These are lifetime appointments. Donald Trump is on track to put nearly twice as many of these judges as President Obama had at this point in his presidency. The Supreme Court picks get a lot of attention, and they should. But most cases don't get to the Supreme Court. The number of cases that in the aggregate, these federal court judges are going to decide on dwarfs by orders of magnitude the number of cases that the Supreme Court is going to decide on. Lots of the judges that are being nominated and actually confirmed are getting the rating of straight up not qualified from the American Bar Association. One example is 46-year-old Lawrence Van Dyke, who was just confirmed by the Mitch McConnell-run Senate. Every single one of these appointments is terrible, but there are also tipping points that go beyond just another judge here or another judge there. And I apologize for punching my mic. I'm just getting very wound up about this. Another example, the Ninth Circuit Court as a whole is historically a left-leaning court. There are 29 seats on that court. 13 are currently Republican seats. 10 of those 13 Republican seats are Trump appointed. Even the Ninth Circuit Court is increasingly Trumpian. And Republicans are united in favor of these horrible and often unqualified judges. For example, everyone other than Republican Senator Susan Collins voted to confirm Sarah Pitlick. Sarah Pitlick is completely and totally opposed to abortion. She considers the destruction of an embryo a, quote, killing. She considers that a killing. She has never tried a single case, but she will have a lifetime seat on a United States District Court in Missouri. She was also rated not qualified by the American Bar Association. Now, I could go on and on with examples, but the big picture is what matters here. First of all, this is a reminder once again, not that we needed it. If you thought Hillary would have been just as bad as Trump, no one should listen to you ever again. And the courts were high on the list of why that was a very, very incorrect analysis at the time. And I've continued to make it since. Now, the worldwide embarrassment, the bogus trade war, that's also on the list. But the courts were at the top of the list from the beginning. Number two, this is a reminder that Donald Trump's impact will continue long beyond his presidency. This is something we've been talking about lately, and the courts are a big part of that as well. Now, I hesitate to call impeachment a distraction from this because, number one, impeachment is really important even if it fails. Impeachment is a congressional duty. When the facts warrant it, you impeach. You don't say, well, it's going to distract from this, that, or the other thing. But number two, the judge stuff would be happening with or without impeachment. And other than, taking back the Senate, we would have little way to stop what is going on with judges. But there could be more coverage because if every time one of these completely and totally unqualified judges was nominated, we had massive public outcry and coverage on corporate media, it might shame the Trump administration into nominating at least marginally more qualified and less crazy people. Maybe. But the most important thing about this is getting coverage so that it puts it in people's minds as something to think about when you consider who to vote for in November of 2020. Imagine that you were one of those people who incorrectly thought back in 2016, Trump, Hillary, whatever, it's all the same. If you recognize that one of the areas where that analysis was so wrong, I mean, it was a weaponized argument, it was so wrong and toxic, If you recognize that with judges, that argument fell very short, if that is repeated now, it would be in your mind when you think about 2020. And maybe it gets you not to stay home, but to go out and vote for somebody who will help remove Donald Trump, where your vote will help remove Donald Trump. That is why we have to make sure people understand the long-lasting impact of this. We have to continue to repeat that this issue of judges every month is getting worse. I think it was 2 months ago on the bonus show, we said 25% of judges at some level, I don't remember exactly what it was, have now been selected by Donald Trump. Donald Trump's judgment about who to select when he doesn't give it to some other conservative group or special interest group and actually is picking people himself. It's disastrous. It's absolutely and completely disastrous. So we can't forget about this. I hope it's part of this article that is coming out about the David Pakman show in a few days, which I will share with you on social media. And I'm going to renew my effort to continue talking about this on the show. Before you go on to the next video, please hit subscribe and like. We are trying to figure out what this will do for helping us in YouTube's algorithm. I will report back to you, but please, before you go on to the next video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. Thank you.